Hey folks, something different tonight. Obviously I look a little different. Don't be alarmed. People are allowed to have fun. I'm allowed to have fun. I'm comfortable in my skin. Before we get too far, I want to pretend I'm getting serious. We just thank Dan the creator because I can't think of another creator yet. Eventually I'll change the name. So on to today's video. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I have one of my favorite songs. It's called Monster Magnet. Power Trippin'. Awesome song. I'm just going to practice some dance moves now to show you. Actually, I'll start slow. We'll walk in my heels. I'll get my wonderful wife who's operating the camera to back up a little bit. Maybe I'll just take a little steps to show you if we can walk. And then for shits and giggles, I'm going to click my heels without breaking my neck. Baby, I can do this. Ready for this? Myself again, freaking on now. Whoa! Careful, 6-inch platforms. You want to like practice. You can kill yourself in these. Honey, come down to the bottom. I'll say why it's so hard. I love these. They look sexy, but if you look, everything's so fucking loose. There's nothing really holding it to my foot. I'm literally using my toes to push down to hold these on. It's really hard to walk in. But I can do it. Backwards. Forwards. Turn around. See if we can twirl. Whoa. If I was more comfortable in these heels, I could twirl this dress. Not working. Okay, I tried. So I don't kill myself now. I'm going to get serious. I'm going to sit in the chair before I kill myself. I want to get serious for a minute. Come on over here, honey. Whoa, okay. We'll hit that pause. Give me a second. Give me a second. Gotta get serious. Can't get serious unless you're seeing red. Today's video is sponsored by Alley Cat. Seeing red, red ale. Good stuff. Don't drink in 6-inch platforms. Bad idea, folks. Don't do it. Sit. Oh. Gotta be a proper girl. Don't want to be too crude. I'm falling apart here, honey. Oh my god. Can't even hold my straps up. What kind of girl am I? Alright. Seriously, folks. I started with posting 3 videos. And for anybody who doesn't know me, to hear the story as it's been ongoing, it's been a bit of a situation. It's borders on unbelievably outlandish, wouldn't you say, honey? Well, they can't see you nod your head. Work with me, honey. Yes or no?
Yes.
Alright. So my next door neighbor has been using the city's 311 system. Most cities have a 311 system. Your neighbor doesn't clean up their yard, doesn't mow their grass, doesn't pick up their dog shit. Sound familiar, honey?
Yes.
My neighbor's retired. Rather than saying to me, hey, I can see you're working, your wife works 2 jobs, you know. You mind if I come into your yard, clean up the dog shit? It's bothering me. Because, 8-9 years ago, we ripped down the rotting wood fence, and he insisted on a chain link fence without privacy slats. So now he can see all the dog shit. Because he's retired, he picks up his Kanga's shit. He's probably holding the bag and she poops and it doesn't even hit the ground. Well, sorry. I go to work. My teenage daughter comes home from school, lets the dogs out. They shit. There's landmines on the grass before I get home. Sorry, neighbor. So fast forward. What do we got? How many years of dealing with this, honey? And then I finally get one of these. Because I don't know if the bylaw officer just didn't get laid or what's going on. But my next door neighbor, the good neighbor, commented the day before my property was inspected. And he said, wow, you did a good job cleaning up. There's no way you're going to get a fine. Well, sorry about my luck. I got a fine. I got this fine in the fall, folks, but because of the Canada Post strike, they couldn't deliver it in the mail. So they contracted an Edmonton police officer in the document service unit. 6 months, 7 months later, I get a random business card on the door saying, call me. I'm like, oh fuck, what's this now? Here we go. Call it up. Oh, nothing biggie, just a civil ticket. And I was like, oh, I thought that goes on my property taxes. I don't pay, you just add it. No, you have to have an opportunity to defend yourself. So I went down to the court this morning, I put my elbows on the counter, I pleaded not guilty, I have a court date going. Because if he's been harassing me criminally for 7.5 years using the city's 311 system, and I finally approach him to talk, what you don't see is 12 hours before that Fight a Bigot video, I knocked on his door. I had a beer in my hand, I opened it up, but I hadn't had a sip yet. So he said, listen, I'm tired of talking to you. He's never once actually talked. He only dictated, you have 24 hours to clean your dog shit or I'm calling. So we turned it into a silly game. I will wait till he calls. The city gives me 2 weeks after the letter comes, and so 3 weeks after he calls, I finally clean up the dog shit, and he's thoroughly pissed off because my yard is full of shit. 2 large breed dogs, folks. I managed to do it for 7.5 years, but one morning in the fall, he called and he decided to call about everything. There was some crap that blew in on my yard, and he said my yard was completely disorganized. He went off on everything. So they basically sent me a civil nuisance. We need your help. Basically, clean up everything on your property. And I did. And it happened to be a Tuesday, and we have garbage days on Wednesdays here. Depending on where you live in the city, it's a different day. So I was getting to the point where I had to go to work. I didn't take the last bin of loose garbage. And when my daughter got home, she let the dogs out, they knocked it over, and sure enough, the city came to inspect after my daughter got home, before I got home. Because the photographic evidence I got is they're literally complaining that one garbage can knocked over and garbage was strewn by my garage door entrance. The rest of my property was clean. But because whoever it was with the city didn't get laid, here we go. So because I had the document service, I tried to renew Hal. Oh, sorry. Random neighbor will call Hal. Not his real name. Come on, be reasonable. He says, I am reasonable. You're the unreasonable one. You need to pick up your dog shit more often. Well, if he wasn't calling the city every 15 fucking days, I'd pick up my dog shit more often. You piss me off, I'll piss you off. I'm a petty person. Human nature, I guess. Well, the moral of the story is it came to a head on a Sunday night. I knocked on his door saying, we can talk or we can fight. The video's uploaded, you can watch it. The next morning, I go in to report unfit for work, and I get a drug test demand. And because I had a couple of drinks to calm down after the fight, I refused because I knew I'd fail. Remember, I'm unfit for work. I wasn't reporting fit for work. Their drug alcohol policy clearly states if you have a near miss, an incident, or you're reporting to return fit for work, those instances, they may require a drug test. Nothing about if you're phoning in unfit, which leads me to, why didn't I phone in? Well, my immediate supervisor gave me a write-up for a PPE infraction. I won't get into that because I don't want this video to be too long. But it was basically, I have a right to refuse unsafe work, and I called him on it. So the company opened an investigation, and I wasn't allowed to speak to him. I have to report to his supervisor. I only have his number. So I walked up. My wife gave me a ride to work. Right, honey? You drove me. I didn't drive myself. I walked up the designated PPE-free zone just to speak to Richard, the manager, to say, hey, I'm not fit for work. My neighbor tried to kill me last night. I need a couple of days. He said, yeah, just give me a minute. We got to document this with HR. Drug demand, no more job. They try to say I quit because after I got a flood of texts and emails and phone calls from all of my coworkers saying, man, we're going to miss you. You were so awesome. I wrote a with prejudice letter saying I quit because they went around telling all the employees before they told me. Very professional. So they're going to say, because I quit and I didn't get fired, I'm not entitled to my severance pay. And more importantly, I work at a company that gives me a production bonus, which basically means I make piece rate. If I hustle my ass, I make more money. I was owed about $900 worth of production matrix bonus that they say that I don't qualify for because it doesn't matter if I quit or if I'm fired. If I'm leaving, you don't get it. That's funny because I remember showing up in good faith to work and earn it. So obviously you can imagine now being out of a job because I fought a bigot. I have some financial stress all of a sudden because our dogs got sick. Did we not have health problems with the animals, honey?
Sure have.
Our cat was trying to unalive himself. Our dog was trying to unalive himself. So every time we turn around, we'd save $5. We need to pay 50. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul fast enough. That's life. I'm sure you've all been there. So we were almost scraping paycheck to paycheck anyway, when all of a sudden, there goes my paycheck. So I wasn't in the greatest headspace. I didn't really sleep. I might have been drinking and smoking excessive amounts of marijuana for 5 days when I called my best buddy in St. John's, Newfoundland, just to vent. And he didn't like what I was saying, so he called 911 for a wellness check. And the cops were in the house for, what do you say, an hour and a half before you turned on the video, honey?
Close to.
And the reason we didn't start recording right away was our phones were dead. They literally phoned 5 minutes before. My wife scrambled to plug in her phone so she had some charge. She waited until we needed to record. And she decided when I was detained under the Mental Health Act and I was in cuffs, it was a good time to start recording. And she stopped recording because she ran out of battery and she went and put on a little bit more of a charge. Which was good because they decided to literally drug me to the sedate me to drag me out of my home. My wife at least figured that was a good thing to record. Thank you for that, honey.
Mm-hmm.
So that, long story short, losing my job and getting hauled off to a mental health facility where, by the way, I met a great guy named Lauren. Me and my wife visited him at the hospital. If you check my YouTube shorts, I met Lauren. How many people you know end up in a psychiatric hospital, come home with an ounce jar of weed that he so poetically named Peyote Critical? Can you get that, honey? Can you see that?
Yep.
Alright, awesome. So the long story short, guys, is I need money for a legal battle against the Edmonton Police Service, the City of Edmonton, and the Province of Alberta. Because the Mental Health Act is a provincial legislation, and the police used it to literally steal all of my Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Because if you're detained under the Mental Health Act, all of a sudden, you have no rights. Without a warrant, they can come in, steal all of my guns. They took all of my guns, they searched my house. They broke the memorial to my parents. They broke my back door. They broke my computer monitor. They think they can get away with it scot-free. I'm not going to let them. I've talked to lawyers. No one will take my case. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. Don't worry. This complicated sissy bitch knows a little thing or two about the legal system. Doesn't matter if they got 1,000 lawyers. If you're right, you win. And I gotta hold my previous employer accountable. So if you're wondering why I have a GoFundMe, between the two of them, I need money because it costs money just to register a civil suit with the court. It costs money to get the production documents, the subpoenas. Did I mention for as much as I was drinking and smoking dope for 5 days? As soon as they got me to the hospital, they did a toxicology panel where my blood panel came back 0.00 blood alcohol with trace amounts of marijuana, which means holding me under the Mental Health Act because I'm shit-faced drunk and stoned and lacking sleep. Which is it? Am I drunk or am I sober? I don't feel they had a right to hold me and I have to fight it. Please, folks, I know times are hard. Donald Trump's in his second term. He's using the word tariffs like you wouldn't believe. He thinks it's a great way to replace income tax in the United States of America to make America great again. Well, I can tell you, as a Canadian, I'm not liking this 51st state style of fucking shit that's going on. If you can, please donate to my GoFundMe so I can hold these people accountable. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Honey, hit the button.